Hey guys, good evening. Welcome to another edition of Big Tech GH on Tech Focus 24. My name is Sammy Dowona. I came to tell you the other day about the public consultation that was held on a regulation that is coming that will allow NCA to, for the first time, control telecom tariffs in this country. Now, that one was over on the March on the 8th. So, if very soon you see that prices are being controlled by NCA in this country, know that there was public consultation from January to March 8th. If you didn't pay attention to go and contribute when they published the draft regulation on their website, well, they did what the law says they should do. Okay. Now, there's another one that is ongoing now. Like, as we are speaking now, it's ongoing. And it's going to end on the 24th of April. It's ongoing now. Now, what is happening? NCA is in the process of establishing a dispute resolution committee. There are three reasons for which they are forming it. Number one, they are going to be solving disputes among different network operators or service providers. So if there is a telco that has got an issue against a particular telco, or an ISP, internet service provider, has an issue against the telco or another ISP and stuff like that, they can go to the dispute resolution committee for it to be solved. That's one level. Number two, between network operators or service providers and utility providers. So let's say if a service provider, maybe MTN, has an issue with Ghana Water or electricity or ECG, for instance, so they can go to the utility resolution committee for it to be solved there. So that's number two. And then number three, between network operators or service providers and their consumers or customers. Okay, so that's you and I. So you and I, if you have an issue with a particular service provider, your MTN, any ISP, internet service provider, you have an issue with them, you go to the what do you call it, the dispute committee, dispute resolution committee, for it to be solved. So these are the three main things that can be taken to the dispute committee. Now, some people have asked, so what if a telco has an issue with the NCA, the regulator? Where do they go to be solved? Do they only have to go to court? Can't the dispute resolution committee also handle that? What I noticed is that the dispute resolution committee is being formed by NCA, and the chairman of that committee must be a board member of NCA, and it must include two ladies. And then the others, where they are going to pick from, they were not specific yet. So we are yet to know. But I want you to know that there are 7-member committee that is going to be formed. The chairman must be a board member of NCA. So it looks like it's a body that belongs to the NCA. So it looks like if you have an issue with the NCA, then you cannot take it to that committee because the chairman is compromised. Because the chairman is a board member at NCA, so the chairman is compromised. So people are asking, why can't we have something outside of court? That people can go to when they have issues with the regulator. Because me personally, for instance, I have complaints against the regulator that you report issues with. Today now they say there's a dispute resolution committee, but we have reported issues about telcos, about practices of industry players to them, and they didn't handle it. So I feel that sometimes a matter like that, I should be able to take it to the dispute resolution committee, that NCA is reneging on their responsibility towards me. But well, they say that one is not captured under the terms of reference of the dispute resolution committee, which is short they call it DRC. Now, reading through the draft, I noticed two things that should be of interest to you and I. Now, under section 3, i.e., which is captioned submission of disputes to the DRC, say that if a consumer decides to file a claim with the DRC, he or she must file 2 copies of the claim and pay the application fees. After filing the claim, the claimant must ensure that the registrar serves copies of the claim on the respondent. Now, this is very, very, very clear. Listen, they are telling you that when you come to the dispute resolution committee, first of all, you must ensure that before you come, you have gone to a telco and they didn't solve your problem. But the second one is that you must file 2 copies of your complaint and pay. So the fee is yet to be mentioned. But we are going to be paying to the dispute resolution committee before we can give them a complaint. So it's like you go to court and you file your, because you have to, there are certain monies you need to pay at court. So the same thing, they are applying the court, system here. And when you come, you have to pay. You have to pay. You understand? So if you go to your telco and your telco doesn't solve your problem and you don't have money, so you see, this is where money can be a reason why probably people will not even get issues resolved. Because if NCA says that now you cannot just come to them and come and complain about issues. I mean, well, I don't know whether their complaint system will still be there or not. After forming the dispute resolution committee, whether their complaint, regime where they have you can report to call NCA or whatever. If those things are still there, then that's fine. But if they are going to be suspended and then everything is going to be handed over to the dispute resolution committee, then if I go to my telco for problems to be solved and they don't solve it, and now I have to the only opportunity I have now is to go to the DRC, dispute resolution committee, and I have to pay. Can you imagine how many people will be discouraged from even going further to seek redress for their problem just because of the money involved? That is very critical. And so if you're a Ghanaian and you are listening to me, you have from now till 24th of April, some of us, we are going to be probably making our representations into this law or into this regulation. So if you are listening to me, you better go to the NCA's website and go and look for that dispute resolution document. I'll mention the name here. I'll probably mention the name here, so that when you go to the website, you go and search for it. If you check down here, I'll mention the name. You see the name is there. I'll put it there for a while. Then you can look at them, go and open that document and make your input. Because the process by which you can make an input is there. It's on that document. Go and make an input. That if payment becomes an issue, how many people will now go beyond their telcos and then go and seek redress? When after they've gone to the telco for a lot, because there have been times you give to telcos to solve problems, they give you stories upon stories upon stories. And if you are ignorant and you don't know what to do, particularly their customer service people, they use their ignorance and I don't know. Sometimes they are just ignorant. They don't know what they are talking about. And they just give you stories upon stories upon stories. Sometimes they tell you blatant lies about what is happening. Do you understand? So, if now you need NCA's help and you have to go and pay, that is a problem. That for me is a problem. The second thing I find worrying is that after you have paid and made a report to the dispute resolution committee, it is still your duty to ensure that whoever you came to report is served. I mean, in court, when you pay for the service of a bailiff, right? You pay for the service of a bailiff. So the bailiff is the one who is supposed to carry the thing and go find you. You have to go show them and do it. But the way they've captured the thing is as if you don't ensure that the person is served, then that's your problem. But when they say you must ensure that the person is served, it must be broken down. I think it must be broken down. It must be clear that you just need to provide the address of the person, or don't the telcos, don't the NCA, don't the regulator know where the service provider that they regulate, they don't know where the service providers are. They know where the service providers are. Must you, the complainant, now be the one helping them to serve a service provider that they have been regulating long before you even came to complain? Why is the law being captured as if it's like in court where you are going to report someone who the court doesn't even know where the person lives or doesn't know it. So you are now supposed to tell the court where the person is. But in this case, these are entities you regulate already as a regulator. So why must you make a law to say, me, the one coming to complain, must be the one to ensure that you serve The person that you have been regulating for all these years. And you've been collecting regulatory fees from them for all these years. I mean, is that law, is that provision not moot? It's moot. I think it's totally moot. If you ask me, it's totally moot. But guys, that's my comment. But I'm saying that between now and April 24th, you have the opportunity to go and make a contribution into that regulation that is coming, so that when it comes, it doesn't spring on you like a surprise. Then you pretend as if you never heard about it. If you didn't hear, you have been told here. So here is where we end another edition of Big Tech GH on Tech Focus 24. We'll come back to you again with another compelling edition of this program. God bless.